Hey guys, Chaotic here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the Deluxe Rabbit Evol Bottle and Dragon Evol Bottle set from Kamen build. This is a pair of Evol Bottles that allow Kamen Evol to access a pair of form changes. So, let's get started. Starting off, we'll look at the Evol Bottles on their own. First up, we have the Rabbit Evol Bottle. This one is done mostly in metallic red. Though of note is that for these two, the cap color, though same as the two that came with the Evol driver, is the same in terms of looks. They've now been changing color from gold to gunmetal. So for the rabbit bottle, you can see it has this unique rabbit build symbol, which incorporates a gear design. Then for the bottom half, you have this small rabbit and a platform with springs under it. And you can see that it has the action of popping up and down. The cap still twists around. And you have the QR code for Gun Verizon. Then you have the Dragon Evol bottle, which is mostly metallic blue. You got Kroz's dragon symbol here. Then on the other side you have the image of a dragon with its head that lowers and raises back up. Now, one thing about the Evol bottles is that while they do look quite distinct, they actually mostly have the exact same parts except for a couple, and this is done in a pretty clever way. If you actually look in the space here, you'll notice that the parts in here, specifically the backing, is the same between these two bottles. The difference is how they're decorated and the actual outer parts that make up the moving gimmick. Whereas for this, it's completely unpainted. They used the inner part and painted it to become the neck of the dragon. This also applies to the previous two Evol bottles, with the Cobra bottle having the outer parts painted to be the kind of outer jaws, or basically connecting jaws of the Cobra mouth. And then the center line painted on the Rider bottle to be the connector for the piston. But, like I said, the only parts that are actually unique on the different Evol bottles are the two parts that are here for the different kind of forms of the moving gimmicks, as well as the pin plates that are screwed on. Next, we'll use these bottles alongside the Evol driver and Rider Evol bottle to create the two forms, starting with the Rabbit Evol bottle. This creates Kamen Evol rabbit form. I'll give you a close-up for the Evoltech finish.
Ready, go! Evoltech finish! Ciao!
Next we'll swap out the rabbit bottle for the Dragon Evol bottle. And this creates Kamen Evol dragon form. I'll give you guys another close-up.
Ready, go!
And for a look at both these forms, let's take a look at the box. So on the front, you can see a good silhouette of their heads, but for a better look, let's look at the back. Now, the thing about these two forms is that the body doesn't really change all that much. What actually changes is the head and shoulders. For rabbit form, you can see it has a build helmet with 2 rabbit eyes and then a single gold stripe, as well as shoulder pads similar to those on rabbit tank form. Then for dragon form, it's got basically just Croz's dragon head, just with 3 different colors. And then shoulders similar to that of Croz in his dragon form. But besides that, the body doesn't really change, and it kind of still works for both, since the main colors of Evol are red and blue. So the red matches the red and the blue matches the blue. So they're not quite as dynamic of form changes as the ones for build. Additionally, if you want to, you can use these 2 balls together. Though doing so just creates a mismatch.
Ready, go! Evoltech attack! Ciao!
As an unrelated bonus, as well as a follow-up to my last review, I'm going to be showing you guys what the Legend Rider full bottles do in the Evoltech driver on their own, because they actually do something quite dynamic compared to any other full bottles. We'll start off with Forza, and it'll give us an example of what to expect. So as you could hear, instead of saying Forza, it said Cosmic State, and actually played the transformation for Kamen Rider Forza Cosmic State. Which is basically just showing that what this does for these Legend Rider full balls is that it changes them from the base form to the final form. And so we'll go about the rest of them in sequence. So next up is Wizard. This gives us Kamen Rider Wizard Infinity style. After that is Gaim. Which gives us Kamen Rider Gaim Kiwami Arms. After that is Drive. This gives us Kamen Rider Drive type Tridoron. Up next is Ghost. which gives us Kamen Rider Ghost Mugen Damashi. And last but not least is Exade. Which gives us Kamen Rider Exade Muteki Gamer. Additionally, these can also make the same matches as they did before. And naturally it reads them as the same names as it did in the build driver. And one more thing to know about them is that something unique to them and in how they work in the Evol driver is that if you put one of them on their own, it actually starts the standby music, as opposed to the build driver where nothing happens unless you have two in. And there we go. So overall, it's cool that Evol gets these two new Evol balls to give them a couple of different forms. But the thing is that this is not a form this is not set that you technically need to buy in order to get these forms out of the Evol driver, because the Rabbit and Dragon full bottles will also work as substitutes as they have the exact same pins. But this set is something you'd want to get if you want the full effect of it. And I will admit that the effect does work well for the different Evol bottles. And one thing to know about this is that besides Cobra, Rabbit, and Dragon, there have also been other evolution forms that have been discovered for the Evol driver, but those are things that I'm going to wait out on because it may be signs that we may be getting more Evol bottles later on in the future, so I don't want to jump the gun on those and reveal them ahead of time, and it's something that I don't want discussed in the comments either. If you want to look for them, you can find them elsewhere, but it's something that I'm just going to hold out on until further notice. If those bottles get released, I will buy them and review them, and if not, later on I will reveal them in another video. And as for that little bonus, it is a definitely cool kind of added extra if you happen to have bought that set. And it is definitely something interesting to see them kind of switch up from the base forms to the final forms. So as far as this set goes, I'd say get it if you want the forms with the full effect and the show accuracy, and if not, you can just kind of pass in this and use the Rabbit and Dragon full bottles. Next time, I'll be reviewing the Bat Engine full bottle set, Tuesday at 6 PM PST. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.